Hi, my name is Florian and I've been working with amazing tattoo artists all around the world for the last 16 years. And here is what I learned about sales. Welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna talk about sales, one of my favorite topics because I'm in sales for the last 16 years in this industry and it is something beautiful. Today we're gonna talk about why some artists struggle with sales and why it feels weird for most of them. What this video is not about is probably the typical sales that you have in mind. It's not about pressure, it's not about manipulating, it's not about hammering people, but it's how you can actively help your clients. So when it comes to the topic of sales, most people have wrong opinion about what sales really are. So when people talk about sales, mostly they think about hammering people until they buy, or convincing them with pressure, or pushing them into a direction until they do an action that you want, or just chasing the sale until it's done. To be very clear, this is not sales. This is just building pressure on other people. And this is why it feels wrong for a lot of artists. So what is sales really? Sales is helping people make the right decision, even if this means not going forward with your service. So sales is about clarity. It's not about pressure. And this is very important in our industry because our industry is different to other industries in many cases. So I think the biggest difference to any other industry is tattoos are permanent. In today's world, nearly nothing is permanent anymore. You can get rid of mostly everything if you don't like it anymore. But tattoos stay forever. Tattoos are a very emotional topic as well. So it's mostly emotional sales and not rational sales. And tattoos are tied to identity. So if you sell tattoos, this requires way more trust towards you and your skills than most other industries. So what is one of the biggest killers in sales, in my opinion? In my opinion, one of the biggest killers is when you are in a needy mindset when you do the sales. So if you prioritize it wrong, so you become pushy, that means you're not fully honest most of the time or not fully present in the sales process. And the sales process for you as an artist is to understand what your clients really want. If you're not fully present or not fully honest, this is something that people feel when they are in communication with you. So the result is they either say no and walk away, they don't say anything and start ghosting you, or they find objections like the price, the time, or whatsoever. So we need to answer the question, why is your opinion or your view on sales screwed up? Most opinions in sales are based on bad experience. I bet at any point in your life you had a wonderful experience in sales as well when somebody else sold you something. And this experience was so good, you told other people about it. And this is how sales should be. Sales should be something fun and something where you, as a client, feel valued. So most artists avoid sales instead of learning it. And this is what we are here for today. So I hope in this video I can give you some tools that will make it easier for you in the future. Because a negative thinking about sales will not lead you to the results that you are looking for. It will rather lead you to inconsistent bookings. It will lead you to bad communication with your clients. It will lead you to weak boundaries, and it will lead you to stress and frustration. And this is everything that it should not be about. Sales should be about fun. It should be about a connection with another human being, and it should be about figuring out what the other person really wants and to find the best solution for them. So let's break it down. Why is sales so important for you as an artist? Well, you can have the best marketing in the world, you can have the best branding in the world and bring a lot of people on your page or on your booking form. But if you can't convert these leads to paying clients, all that branding and marketing is wasted energy. Because if you can't convert people, you will not be tattooing and you will not be earning money. So the real consequences for you for not being a good salesperson is less tattooing. So if you do less sales, you do less tattoos. If you do less tattoos, you will earn less money. And if you earn less money, you probably will have either financial or mental struggles at one point. So let's reframe that. Sales should not be about putting pressure on somebody, but sales should be about creating the best possible customer experience, either if this is offline or online. And the best experience for a client happens when the client doesn't feel that the sale is salesy. So when the client goes there, when the client is with you, when the client feels like that you take good care of them, and when everything just feels like a conversation with somebody that you like instead of a stranger that tries to get money from you. So sales should feel like a conversation and less like a process. So your responsibility as an artist when you're in a sales talk with one of your clients is to figure out three things. Point number one for you to figure out, and figuring this out is by asking questions, right? So sales is a lot about asking questions to figure out what does the other person really want. So you have to figure out, are you the right fit for the tattoo? Is your process the right process for this client? Is this what they are looking for? And the overall experience that you provide to your clients. Is this client that you're talking to right now fitting in this experience, or is this experience what this client is looking for? So if you can put the tick behind all these three boxes, if you can do the tattoo, if you have the right process for the client, and if you can create an amazing experience for this client, and if this is all true, so if you know that you can help the other person, or you know that you can help your client with all of these 3 points, not helping them is a disservice, because you're stopping them from turning their idea into reality in the right environment. When you figure out that you and your service are the right fit for your client, doing sales is helping them achieve their goal. So let's talk about the main things that need to be in place to make a good sale. First and most important thing in sales is trust. So your client, or the leads, or however you want to call it, the people in front of you who talk to you about the tattoo, about their idea, they have to trust you. And the higher the trust in you is, the easier the sale will become. Because when we sell tattoos, this is an emotional sale, not a rational sale. A rational sale is, let's say, I buy 100 grams of gold. This is a rational sale because I know I probably will be able to sell it later to a better price. A tattoo is a strictly emotional sale because you can't sell a tattoo in the future. You can't take it off when it's done. It has a story behind, and this is something deeply personal that you only do for yourself. So we have to sell emotional. So we have to understand that trust is one of the biggest importances in emotional sales. And trust usually starts before the first contact. So it starts with your social media, it starts with your homepage, it starts with your branding, it starts with how you present yourself to the people who get in contact with you for the first time over homepage, social media, or whatever, and how you make them feel there. So trust is about how people perceive you. And low trust will make sales hard, no matter how good you are. The second thing that you need to understand to have a good sales process with your clients is their why. Why do they want to do the tattoo? What is their motivation behind? I have a very nice story for that topic. So let's imagine every client that comes to you to talk about a tattoo idea. They will come to you with a small flame inside their hands. And this small flame is their idea. It's very fragile, it's very small, and it can be wiped out in a second. So when they come to you and they show you their flame, your job is to understand the flame and to put more wood or whatever material that burns inside that flame to make it a raging fire. And when we talk about fire, we talk about emotions. Sales will become way more easy. So you have to understand the why behind the tattoo. And the why can be anything. So first of all, is to understand why is it important for the client to get this tattoo, and what is the thing behind it. Is it a story? Is it a memory? Is it a feeling? Is it a part of their identity? Is it something that happened and that they want to overcome? Whatever it is, you have to understand what the why of your client is. Because at the end, people don't really buy just tattoo. People buy what the tattoo means for them. So the third thing you have to understand when talking to a client is what is their desired outcome. And this is, what does the finished tattoo need to look like? How does your client expect the process with you to be? And what experience do they expect when they are working with you? Because if these 3 points aren't clear in the beginning, even if you do a great job, even if you can make the sale, if you can make the tattoo and you make a very nice tattoo, but the other 2 points are lacking, the process and the experience, there is a high probability that this client either doesn't come back or that there will be problems later on during the process. So to understand the desired outcome of your client when it is about the final result, how everything works and what experience they will get, is crucial to have a good sales experience. And the fourth and maybe most important point that you need to understand is concerns and objections. This is very, very important because they will come. They will come. In every sales process, you will have objections or concerns from the client side. In 99% of every conversation, let's say it like that. So objections and concerns is where most artists fail. Objections are usually not the real problem why somebody doesn't want to book with you. The real problem is mostly a level deeper because objections are on the surface level. right? These are things like, oh, it's too expensive, or oh, I need to talk with my girlfriend about it, or whatever it is. But there is always an underlying reason to that objection. And you can break this down mostly in 3 points. Number 1 is fear. Number 2 is doubt. And number 3 is bad experiences in the past. So every objection that you will get during the sales process has one of these 3 underlying emotions: fear, doubt, or a bad experience in the past. And by asking questions, you can figure out which one it is and then try to solve it for your client. Figuring out which objections are really the pain point is easy done by separating them from the rest. So let's say you have a conversation with a client and you talk to them about the tattoo and everything is great, and then you come to the point where you want to book them in. And then they're going to say something like, I need to think about it again because I didn't expect the price that high. So then you can go and ask, okay, so did I understood you right? So if there would be a lower price, let's say we don't talk about the price at all, would you book with me? Would you now put down a deposit and book with me? If they say yes, then you know, okay, it's just the price, and then you can find a solution that suits their budget. If they still say, I don't know, then you understand that there is a deeper emotional level that you have to take care about. Figure out what people are scared of. Figure out what holds them off from booking with you. And this is not that difficult. Just ask. Just ask people. If somebody is not booking with you after a consultation, ask them why. What would need to happen for them to feel safe enough to book in with you? And they will tell you. And either you're capable of changing that or providing that, what they're looking for, or you're not. So by understanding that most concerns or objections are surface level and that the real problem is deeper, it will help you get less clients that don't get back to you, that don't book, or that just start to ghost you. And then the 5th point that has to be in order to have a great experience for a client or a great sales process is the fulfillment afterwards. So once the client says, yes, I want to do it, everything that follows this decision is crucial if they will have a nice experience with you, talk good about you in the future, and come back as clients. And the fulfillment includes the design, the execution of the design, the communication before, during, and after the appointment, and your professionalism throughout the whole process. So fulfillment starts before the tattoo session. Fulfillment starts the moment that people walk into your studio, start talking to you, and let's say the soft fulfillment starts then, and the real fulfillment starts when they agree to book in with you and put down a deposit. So a good experience in the fulfillment part reinforces the client that they made the right decision to go with you for their tattoo. So again, these 4 points have to be in place for a good fulfillment: great design process or great design, amazing execution of the design, great communication before, during, and after the tattoo, and professionalism throughout the whole experience. So how does the actual process of sales or of selling really look like? So first of all, sales start before the client texts you the first time or walks into your studio. Sales start with your social media. This is mostly in our industry the first touch point for a client with you. So your content should pre-handle objections that client could have. Your content should build the trust of your capability of creating the right design, doing the right execution, and giving them an amazing experience. This is not too difficult. Just show how you do it. You work with clients nearly every day and you tattoo every week. And this is not as hard as it sounds to show because you're already doing it. This is your everyday job when you have clients in the studio. So start to show on social media as well how the experience of your clients in your studio is. So for example, you can go and define the 4 main objections that people usually have when they come to a consultation with you or when they email you. And once you figured out which 4 are the main objections that are appearing in your everyday life with your clients, you can start to handle them on your social media or with your content. When you're doing this, you're building a very stable foundation for your sales process. Second step is book client in for a consultation. So I know every artist is doing this differently. So there are artists that do consultations via email. There are artists that do consultations via video call. There are artists that do consultations in the studio. Whatever your way is or wherever you feel the most comfortable, do it that way. So no matter where you do the consultations, the client always has to feel valued and it has to be a great experience for them. Either if it's via mail, via video call, or in the studio. Now, what you want to avoid when you book in a consultation with a client is that they book the consultation but don't show up. If somebody doesn't show up for a consultation or for an appointment, the only reason is because their commitment wasn't high enough. So to avoid that is to talk about the why as soon as possible. As soon as possible, you give the client a chance to talk about the why behind their tattoo, the faster you get them emotionally involved. For an example, when you do a call with a client, somebody sends you a request, you call them, and you want to book them up for a consultation. Book them in for a consultation in the studio. Don't just call them and be like, hey, you sent me an email, I would like to sit together with you. Do you have time on Saturday, 10 a.m.? But take 2 minutes of your time. Try to figure out in this call if you're the right fit for this client. So it'll be something like, hey, you sent me this email. I would love to talk with you about it in person. I just have 2 questions to understand you better and to prepare for this appointment. Could you tell me the idea behind your tattoo? Why do you want to do your tattoo? And they start to talk about the why, and they are emotionally involved. Second of all, if you're not sure if it's the right fit for your portfolio, also ask them to point out some of the references they really liked in your portfolio, so you get an understanding if you are the right artist for them. Then if you book the consultation, send them an invite. If you work, let's say, with Google, you can add them to the appointment. If you work with any other agenda, you can always send a confirmation for the consultation or for the appointment. How I do it, I send them an invitation to their Google agenda as well and let them confirm it on the phone. Like, hey, have you received the invitation? They're like, yes. Okay, can you press on accept? So we both have it in our agenda, and then they're in. Most artists do consultations for free. So there is no big pain point for the client to just miss the consultation, right? But you can tell them, hey, look, if you can't make it to the consultation, and this is something you tell them on the phone, if you can make it to the consultation, absolutely no problem, but please let me know ahead so I can spend the time differently. Is that okay for you? And then they will say yes. So you have a commitment from them. This is how to decrease the chances of somebody ghosting you when you book a consultation with them. Now, before the consultation, let's say the people book the consultation. Now, before the consultation happens, send them a reminder for the consultation. If you want to, you can already send them questions via mail, so they can already give you information in advance or send you references. Try to stay in contact. When you stay in contact with them, even if it's just a reminder, a nice reminder, not tomorrow is your appointment, but hey, I'm very much looking forward for our consultation tomorrow. You're warming up the client for the appointment. They don't come cold and you have to start from zero. They already come a little bit hyped and with a little bigger flame in their hand. And you get them mentally invested in this appointment with you. Now, at the consultation is crucial if you do consultations. So if you do consultation, customer has to feel valued, and feeling valued is achieved by asking the right questions, right? So apart from the right service, the right experience in the studio, it's about asking the right questions. So you have to figure out their why during the consultation. This is crucial, like deeper than on the phone. On the phone, it was to get them emotionally involved. Now it's really to understand what they want. Then you have to understand the desired outcome. You have to understand their expectations about the whole thing. And you have to pre-handle objections. By asking the right questions and understanding what your client really wants, you can pre-handle pretty much most objections that could come up. So between the consultation and the appointment, I highly recommend to send follow-ups and reminders. This keeps the client warm and it keeps them excited. So let's say life happens and suddenly your client has doubts about what they want to do. They call you, they text you or whatever, however they get in contact with you, but they're going to be like, I'm not sure if we're going to do it. So your job then is to keep them committed, keep the excitement high, and keep them trusting in you. Because if you don't do these things, the consequence will be that the client probably will cancel their appointment. So if you have a good process between the consultation and the actual tattoo appointment, the experience for the client will be much better, the commitment is gonna get bigger, and he's already looking forward for the next appointment with you. So to round things up, I would like to tell another story that was really helpful for me in sales. Imagine I have a backpack in my hand and I wanted to sell it to you. It's a basic backpack, black one from H&M or any other brand. Yeah, it's just a used backpack that I normally wear. So I'm gonna offer it to you for $1 million, whatever your currency is, let's say $1 million. Would you say yes? Probably not. Okay, next day I'm gonna come and I give you the same backpack for 100,000. Would you buy it? Probably not. If I will come the next day and offer you the same backpack for 1,000, would you buy it? Probably still not for a H&M black backpack. If I come the next time and offer it to you for 100, would you buy it? Probably still not, because you could get it new for a cheaper price. And if I come the next time and offer it to you for $10, would you buy it? Maybe yes, if you need a backpack. So you are making your decisions based on what you think is the value of the backpack. Now, if you would have asked me the first time when I came and offered you the backpack for $1 million, what is inside the backpack? And I told you, well, there are 2 millions in cash inside. 1 million for the backpack suddenly doesn't sound that bad anymore, right? We sell value. So the client has to understand the value of the tattoo he gets, the service he gets, and the overall experience. And if you can make it very clear for the client what you bring to the table and what they can expect and how incredibly amazing you want to treat them while they're with you, price becomes secondary. The idea in a good sales process is to get to a point where the client sits there and is like, damn, I get all this and I only pay that for it. So if the objection is money, most of the time or always the client doesn't understand the value that he gets. And this is not the client's fault. This is a problem in the process. So at one point we didn't ask enough questions or we didn't give the right answers. So to round it up, sales is not about pressure. It's about helping people. It's about being at service. It's about showing your best self before, during, and after they are in contact with you. Remember, if you're good at sales, you're helping people. If you're bad at sales, you're not helping people. You're pushing them, you're pressuring them, they make decisions they don't like. But if you truly care about the other human being that is on the other side of the table or the laptop when you do a video call, sales will become more easy. Care about people, sell with value, try to understand what they really want and if you're the right fit. Thank you very much for listening to me and see you soon with another episode of How the Fuck Do I Even Do That? Thank you very much for listening and wish you a wonderful day.